Hello everyone and welcome back to Calmlands. This is the multiplayer co-op with Nordic farming and we have reached episode 50. Wow, can't believe it. Episode 50 on Calmlands. What an achievement. And Nordic and I worked out that we've been doing this series for well over a year now, so that is pretty good. We are starting off today with a couple of sales. We've got a lot of eggs up by the chickens at the farmhouse, and we also have a lot of digestate, and we don't seem to use the slurry spreader as much as we do because of our fantastic Seedhawk seed drills, which deliver fertilizer for us. So yeah, we don't really use the slurry and digestate that much, so we are going to sell it. So I've gone onto the BGA production change and I'm changing the output of digestate to selling. We've got 1.2 million litres, so that is going to fetch quite a lot of money. And we need that for later because we are going to be doing some forage harvesting and we want to swap the Fent forage harvester for a Crone one. So Nordic is busy this morning selling some of the old Fent items from the forage harvester and the old New Holland forage harvester that we've got. And I am going to get busy selling some eggs. So let's jump in a truck. Hey, we will take the Man Agra truck. And I'm going to manually do the driving first of all this morning. We're not going to leave it to a auto driver. Mainly because we haven't got that route set up yet. But we will be using the auto drivers again for when we've got some jobs later on this afternoon. Because Lakeside Field down by the BGA is ready to harvest. That has sunflowers in. So we're going to get that harvested and we'll use the auto drivers to do the carting. And also, bang ahead in front of me, we have Pig Farm Field, which is on the last stage of growth for corn. So we can forage harvest that, which is why we're doing the swapperoo with the forage harvesters. We're going to have 2 crones running with the crone cargoes. Looks like Hillside Field is still growing with the canola, so that's alright. Coming up to the farmhouse. Now we don't really come here very often anymore because we are always so busy. We're starting off down by the yard, but we have got our lovely chickens here and our open garden, which is making some of the root crops for our pig food. So let's get backed up. We can open the curtain and get this all loaded. Lots of eggs. Nicely stacked there. We can close up the curtain and get this sold. I need to look where the best sell price is. And it is at the cooperative. So we will tag that and head over and sell it. I think it's, yep, the main place where we sell most things. So let's head on over there, get these eggs sold. And then we can crack on with our sunflower harvest down in Lakeside Field. So we made it here. Let's get all of these eggs sold. Should fetch us a good amount of money. It turns out it's this sell point to the side of where we normally drop the grain off. And there we go. We've got around 30,000 litres of eggs. So quite a big load. Let's see how much we get for it. So that's sold in 2 parts, 148,000 and 35,000. So there you can see in November we sold $169,000 worth. Fantastic. And it looks like Nordic has sold some machinery as well for 216,000. That's probably the harvester. Right, let's head back to the farm and get this parked up and we can crack on with our sunflower harvest. And the clock has ticked into 9 o'clock, so some of our digestate has sold. We're now up to 1 million in the Calm Farm bank account. Fantastic. Right, Nordic is sending one of the auto drivers over to Lakeside Field, and I'll get the other one set up as well. There we go. So we've got the Demler trailer, and we want to set this chap to load and deliver for us. So we've got pick up and deliver this time, so we're not going to ask the auto drivers to come into the field. So I'll set this as Lakeside Weight 2. We will set the delivery point as the farm silo, and it is going to be sunflowers. Okay, so this chap should head off to Lakeside Field Weight Point 2, and then we will come and see them once we're down there with the harvesters. Okay, in the harvester, let's fetch the header. Nordic and I are going to be setting GPS now on some of our bigger machinery, probably for when we're doing harvesting and seed drilling. So we'll get that configured. $15,000. There we go. And we will grab the header, Capello, and this is the mighty wide corn header. And yes, this will harvest our sunflowers quite nicely, but it's so big it actually extends further than the pipe, which is why we can't get the auto drivers to come and collect off of us on the go. But they will be at the waypoint and we can drop off to them and they can do the carting. So we're heading off to a lakeside field in tandem, and we're following one of the auto drivers. We accidentally set him to go to the farm silo, and we need him to be down by the field. Now, Cowman Field to the left is also nearing full growth of canola, just like Hillside Field. So not this time, but next time that should be ready to harvest, so we'll have another 2 fields of canola to harvest. Now, the South Bank field, now to my left, is what we harvested and drilled last time, and that has sorghum in, and there's some weeds that have cropped up, so we are going to need to herbicide those at some point very soon. Right, we have arrived. We can get unfolded, and we are ready to go. So we can just angle ourselves to enter the field. Switch on, and yeah, we'll be doing the headland. I think we'll probably just do one headland and then start to do some rows. And of course we will have to come and deposit to our auto drivers that are waiting here in tandem now that they are both here. And oh, I don't quite know what's happening there. I think that might be a dodgy section of the field, but the terrain hasn't let me harvest. That is a bit peculiar. How strange. Right, we'll have to come and fix that later on, as yeah, sometimes the terrain doesn't suit the crop when you're harvesting it and it misses patches, so we'll come and tidy that up. How strange. Yep, the auto drivers will wait there, and I don't know whether we'll fill up the trailers enough for them to go and deposit, but once they get to 85% they should set off on their own. The Nordic and I are going to see to this, and we'll catch you when we're finished. And there we go. That's our sunflowers all harvested, and turn the GPS off. Nordic and I were using GPS for the harvesting of that field, and it's probably my first time using GPS on FS22. It's taken me a little while to get to using it. I didn't want to use it on my Elm Creek series because that was very rustic, and I'm certainly not using it on Frontier Farmer because it's probably not been invented yet. Well, yeah, GPS certainly hasn't been invented yet in the sort of time that we are working as a Frontier Farmer in the Dark Forest. Right, there's a couple of little patches which I'm just going to take the time to quickly clear up before we unload and get the trucks heading on back to the silo. And it's worth mentioning that this field is probably not ideal for a crop like sunflower. Seems to have been very janky around the bits that are undulating, and the header just seems to completely lose sight of the crop and miss them entirely. So we get left with a couple of little patches, but none to worry. We will clear this up and we can get all the sunflower back to the silo. Right, we'll empty into this guy. It might fill him up, and then he should get on his merry way back to the silo. Right, we are heading back to the yard. We'll get these washed up and serviced, and Nordic and I have the auto driver in tow with our sunflower, and I'm weaving all over the place. Anyone would think I'd had a lunchtime beverage in the harvester. Right, header dropped off back there, and we can park up the harvester. And Nordic is off to purchase the other crone forage harvester, and he's setting up the lorries as well in the waiting position for pig farm field, which is pretty handy. You can see them driving off. Here's one of the auto drivers now, not even slowing down for me to cross. Jesus. Right, we will hop in the crone and we'll grab the crone cargo trailer and then head up to the dealership to get one of the corn forage harvesting headers. I think the drivers are finding their waypoints. And here is our luscious corn to the left. That is at the last growth stage, so perfectly green for us to come and forage harvest. We want to try and forage it at the last growth stage before it turns nice golden brown. So very kindly Nordic has purchased the header for us, so let's swoop in and nab that. There we go. Now I don't know what width that header is, but it's the matching header for this crone forage harvester. And of course we've got the crone cargo on the back, which will pivot for us to jet the chaff into. And then the idea is that we're going to try and set the auto drivers to come and take the load of chaff from us as we are in the field. And they will then deposit that into the fermenting silo. Now, the unload feature is specifically for unloading combine harvesters, so it may not work with the crone cargoes, and if it doesn't, we will probably just set the drivers to wait at their waypoints and we will unload into them manually. So yeah, we will have to see how that all goes. But we'll get the trailer unfolded and we'll get the pipe out ready as well, which I think is the usual pipe out button from memory. Get the header unfolded. It's a decent size header, which is pretty good. And we'll also need to get the pipe out here. And before I forget, we need to set ourselves as Pig Farm Field Wait 1, so the driver can come and find us. I think one driver is moving about because he's found Nordic, so we can fish away with the crone auto drive menu, and we'll swing round so we can come along and get ready to harvest. So we are pivoted round and we want to get started, so let's fire up the harvester and we can get set in. Now we haven't got GPS on these unfortunately, but that's not a problem because it's going to be a bit of a wacky and wild job, no doubt, with the auto drivers. So we're heading off. I'm hoping I'm not going to hit this tree, because that would be annoying. The Crone Cargo does like to hit trees and their tall branches. Yeah, let's have a little look. Is luck on our side? It is indeed. Fantastic. Right, so we're going to crack on with the forage harvest of this field, and I'm going to miss bits stupidly. I'll come back and tidy that up. And the drivers are hopefully going to come and unload from us, take it to the fermenting silo, and then the chaff will be all nicely fermenting to go to the BGA. Yeah, we'll get this all sorted out and see you when we're finished. I need to pipe in. Where are you going? Jesus Christ. Oh dear.
A few minutes later.
Right. So you might have figured that things did not go to plan, but we have improvised and we are going to use one person for doing the carting and one person for doing the forage harvesting. I am stuck in a tree. Lovely job. This job has been very stressful indeed, and there seems to be a ghost version of Nordic hovering there in the field, which is a bit peculiar. So yes, change the plans. One is going to forage harvest and one is going to come along and cart, because it was working with the auto drivers, but it's just so slow and inefficient and they don't quite get the gist of what we're trying to do. So it is easier that we come along and do this ourselves, and I'm teetering on the edge of this cliff, so I better just wait for Nordic to do a turn and then we can come along and empty him. And good thing about this is that we can use the Optiliner trailers, which give us a bit more capacity, and that's going to mean, well, hopefully can do more efficient loads to the fermenting silo. So yep. Despite us having to invest in another Crone forage harvester, we are back to just using the one. And I guess if you want a job done properly, it's best to do it yourself. And Nordic and I are going to tag team this. And we'll probably swap over the carting midway through. And I think once he's done this headland, yeah, alright, okay, we're full. Didn't even make the rest of the headland, so we'll unload this. And yeah, my job's going to be carting, and then we'll swap over. So we'll crack on and see you when we've made some good progress. Okay, so Nordic has done a few headlands, and we have done a few unloads, and we've been testing out a new approach. Basically, I've been doing the carting, or the more complex part of it, running alongside Nordic for him to unload the Crone cargo into the Optiliner, and then I've been setting off a autodrive worker to actually do the easy part of driving back to the fermenting silo and unloading. And that seems to have worked quite well because I've been able to swap between the lorries. And Nordic is now going to take over the carting, and we are going to run the harvester. So yeah, I guess we can just hop out the truck, leave that there to unload, and Nordic will do the same. He will run alongside us to do the carting, and then he'll set the auto driver off to go, and then it'll be ready and waiting for him to go and unload and get the new truck to do the carting in the other lorry. Right, so let's set off, and yeah, we don't need to worry about being too close to Nordic for the moment, and I think we can go quite a good maximum speed, 13 mile an hour. Of course, we have got the working speed mod as an addition, so that's pretty handy. Now, we haven't got GPS in this forage harvester. We did in the other one, but we've been manually intervening all afternoon, so I'm quite happy to do this job manually, although I'm not really watching where I'm going with the lines as much. So, I think we'll return and do a row. We probably need to raise the pickup, and Nordic can follow us for the other row, and then yeah, we'll just carry on until we've got this all forage harvested. So we're going to crack on, get this last stint all done manually with a little bit of help from the auto drivers to do the carting to the fermenting silo once it's all loaded, and we'll see you when we're all finished. Right, that is the field all forage harvested. Now we've swapped over, so yeah, I did the last portion of the forage harvesting and Nordic was in charge of the carting, and that seemed to work the most efficient. So one of us runs the harvester and then the other one runs the carting, and then we can utilize the auto driver to just do the short trip back to unload, and they seem to unload automatically a-okay. Right, we've got 10,000 litres left in the cargo. We just need to move this guy out of the way, although they seem to be moving a little bit out of the way. Just need a bit of a helping hand. Right, that's them out of the way, so we can get this 10,000 litres unloaded and see how much we've got. Wowzers. So we started the day with no chaff in there because all of that had processed and gone to the BGA. And we've now got 1.4 million litres, nearly 1.5 million litres of chaff in there. And that is now active, so that is going to ferment into silage, and on the hour that is going to distribute to the BGA, which should be active with both... Oh no, it's not active yet. So 3,000 litres have gone in there, we better activate that. And we've run through all the slurry now, so that is good. So yeah, 1.4 million litres. Fantastic. Let's get the crone cargo folded up, pipe in. It's all folded away on the move, so we'll get everything all washed up and parked away. So the crone and crone cargo has worked well today, but Nordic and I sort of have worked out that the best way and most efficient way to do it is that one of us runs the forage harvester and one of us does the carting, utilising the auto driver to do the short run back to the silo. So really we don't need two forage harvesters, so we might look to sell the other one. We did have some pretty ambitious dreams to have both forage harvesters running with the crone cargoes and the auto drivers coming to unload from the crone cargo trailers, but was not to be, unfortunately. Too ambitious. That's all serviced up. Yep, nonetheless, the approach that Nordic and I took today did work pretty efficiently. And yeah, we got 1.4, nearly 1.5 million litres of chaff in the silo, so we didn't do too bad. Next time, I think we are going to have some more canola harvests upon us from Cowman Field and Hillside Field. And we've also got two fields to drill, Lakeside and Pig Farm Field. But those had sunflowers and corn in, so likelihood is they're going to need ploughing before we drill. So we'll have to see to that. Right, I'm not sure where Nordic has parked the other forage harvester, but we can drop the header off and then get this parked up nicely. Oh, seems like Nordic kept the header on there, but that's fine. Not to worry. Super duper. Right, that is it for today. Hope you have enjoyed watching. If you have, remember to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you've got any tips, tricks or things you'd like us to do, then feel free to leave a comment. And check out Nordic's channel for his perspective of today's session. Until next time on Calm Lands, we will see you then. Cheers all. Bye bye.